Welcome to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist, coming to you live from the Wave Beach Realty Studios in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call us today at 843-957-3872.
Happy New Year, and as we get the year started, let's get your financial picture in focus by getting a budget and getting those spending habits looked at. Reach out to me at coachwestc@gmail.com and we'll get you off to a good start. This segment brought to you by Eisenhower Dental. Reach out to them at 843-234-3110.
All right, guys, welcome back into episode 33 of the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist, coming to you live from the Wave Beach Realty Studios here in snowy North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which is something I haven't said in 12 years, but
the most snow we've got since 1989.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually lived in Raleigh in 1989. I was home for the holidays and right outside of Wilmington.
Yeah.
I was snowed in for 2 days with my parents. Now you can think a college kid snowed in with his parents. It was
no bueno. You know where I lived in 1989?
Where's that?
I didn't exist.
Oh, that's true. Oh, ouch, that hurt. 3 years before you were born, right?
Yeah. Good old 92.
My son wasn't, but yeah. Okay. I didn't even met my wife by that time.
Oh, really?
Nah. We met, in 1990. About 4 months later, we met.
Nice. Very cool.
Man, that makes me feel old. Thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to hit you with that on a Friday.
We did get snow here. Gave me a lot of time behind the computer, which probably wasn't a good thing. Because that's now I know far more than I want to know. Everything's just falling apart, man.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
You think?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Listen, time behind the computer can be good. It's you probably picked up some good tools. We're making the podcast better day by day. What could go wrong?
Yeah, lots of things. Audio lessons. Apologize to everybody listening to the audio versions last week. They were way off, but I couldn't fix them. Hopefully we fixed that problem today. So we'll be doing technical stuff, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully you'll see a difference as you watch and as you listen. But one of the things I watched talking about computers is that AI press conference. Did you see that?
So I didn't see the whole conference, but I know they were they're like the head of Oracle and a couple other big players in AI. Yeah, they're trying to.
Who is Altman ahead of?
He's not Oracle. Larry Ellis or whatever his name is Oracle. Altman, OpenAI. Is it OpenAI? I think it's OpenAI.
GPT.
I think so.
And then
I should know more about
Japan, maybe
something like that. Yeah, I should do more. I should be paying more attention to the AI stuff.
They freak me out.
It's a little bit much. I hope.
I was pretty calm about this stuff. I mean, I've researched it a lot, and I can definitely see there's some issues, but some of the stuff they were predicting and talking about, yay, look at this, reminds me of the people who were saying, hey, look at this, we can split the atom. Just kind of.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's, it could definitely go too far. I mean, Elon talked about this a while back. He said, AI can be really good, but he's like, it's something that you really have to monitor, and it has to be in the right hands of people who are going to do the right thing with it, because you could go the complete opposite way. So you got to be careful with AI in general. Yeah. I'm sure it can do a lot of good, and it's going to be the future either way. It's just hopefully it's not people don't use it the wrong way. Now, I think the military and stuff might be able to use it to combat some of our enemies and to have an advantage there. So for that, military usage, but for civilian use and the private sector, I hope that they don't go too far with it and overstep boundaries, which they've done enough of that already.
Yeah. Glenn Beck's been talking about AGI. I think we talked about it before, and that's what he's scared of. And then after that, there's another term after that supposedly would not be reachable until at least 2050, but he's calling for probably the next few years, which it might last because he's not a computer guy, right? Yeah. He doesn't know anything. But he also said that AGI would happen soon, and everybody said it wouldn't happen until 2030. All the experts said 2030, and then what's his name published a paper 2 weeks ago saying that we had either passed or getting to the singularity, where they were talking about where they would actually make AGI computers that could teach themselves. So we're there. So again, Glenn Beck, this idiot who, no offense, Glenn, I'm not calling you, but that's what everybody calls you. But here you go again. You've predicted something that the experts couldn't, just by common sense and looking at the data. Yeah,
it's scary that intelligence can teach itself intelligence, because at a certain point it just becomes more intelligent than us, and then it's gone. Which it probably kind of.
Well, I mean, if you're going to cure cancer by 2030, it's got to be more intelligent than us.
That's for sure. Yeah, which for that purpose is fine.
I don't know. Did you hear about that?
I
That
haven't.
guy
No.
talking. That this is
I,
what
just, I
press
didn't see
conference.
the. I didn't get the.
He was up there talking about how great this is going to be. We're going to cure cancer, which is great. But guess how they want to cure it? mRNA technology.
More
He just-
vaccines.
Yep. He says, "Well, vaccine
I did
you
see
against this
something about
cancer, and
cancer
vaccine you against this cancer, and mRNA is not vaccines."
Yeah, I mean, if they find a way to treat it, like, okay, so for COVID, I think it was completely unnecessary. But for something like cancer, if I have some side effects from an mRNA injection, but it cures my cancer, that's probably a risk I'm willing to take because
Yeah.
it's about just as bad as having chemo and the
Well,
effects from
I
radiation.
know Liz talks about she had mRNA. Liz Calloway from the Liz Calloway show had mRNA treatments for the I want to say she had not Rocky Mountain spotted fever. What's the other one called? The tick
Lyme disease.
Lyme disease. Thank you, Lyme disease. And she actually had that mRNA, but like you just said, she
Yeah.
said yes, she had side effects from it, but it was better than what the disease was doing to her. So I can see that.
Mhm.
I just don't want us to get lost in putting all our faith in one technology and then just
You're
not
right.
looking at other stuff.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree that they should continue research in every avenue possible to try to find legitimate cures for cancer. If mRNA is one of them, okay, but yeah, don't just
Yeah.
go that route.
Yeah.
Find other things.
There's
As
no
well.
telling if this computer does what they say it's going to do. There's no telling
Yeah.
what it's going to find anyway.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
So-
taking the red dyes out of our food is going to help fight cancer in itself. Which I don't. That video is not getting any views. They shut that down, especially
Did they? Oh, yeah, I saw that.
even the short clip of it where I'm
nothing.
joking about it, but because I put in there that it's cancer causing, I see this is one I need to just stop because it's gonna shut this one down too.
Probably already has then.
Probably already has. Yeah, they probably are. Yeah, it's weird though what they choose to because it's proven. That's not me making stuff up.
So we need to get our subscribers up more because they'll actually go to our channel. Even then, though, I don't think they get the updates when it comes across. But our
Yeah.
people counts up too. We'll have to
Yeah,
look at
yeah, that
updates.
won't get censored. Yeah, so
But it doesn't get near the views.
over time, if one place starts to censor more than the others, then I'm sure that more people would move to that other platform.
Yeah, but all of the tech guys have said they're going to stop that, right? Oh, did you see? I know we're just talking about random stuff. Did you see Senator Kennedy and what he was talking about the fact checkers?
Uh-uh.
I don't know who he was talking to. It's a clip online. He's talking to somebody talking about the fact checkers. He said, "Well, even naysayers said Noah was crazy
Yeah, yeah,
until it started raining,
yeah.
and then all the fact checkers got died. I hope they died."
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what the same thing with the conspiracy theorists and everything else. Like, fact checkers, conspiracy. You're all crazy until the stuff happens, and then it shuts them up real quick. Yeah.
Oh, Trump's as we record this, Trump's on the way to Western North Carolina, which
Yeah.
I'm glad to see. It's like the whole country's forgotten about these people.
Yeah, and Vance was just there as well. He was. I saw him doing a little interview. He was there within the past few days. I know when this comes out, it'll be Monday probably.
Yeah, so
but
in the last 5 days.
yeah, so it was like this past Wednesday or Tuesday. He was there, and he was talking about, and they kept asking him about. They were asking him about Pete Hegseth's confirmation instead, and he was like, "I'm here to." They're like the reporters. He's like, "I'm here for the people of North Carolina." Yeah,
He's going to make it. I mean,
yeah, it
it's
seems that way.
done.
Yeah,
It's a done deal.
yeah.
So now they're going to turn their target on Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh yeah,
And then
they
on
definitely don't
FK.
want her in. Yeah, they definitely don't want her in.
They don't want FK in
Yeah,
either.
they definitely don't want either one of them in. But I think they're pushing back more right now on Tulsi. They said she's like a total threat to the Defense Intelligence Agency.
Yes, she is. Because
Yeah,
it's
because
too bad.
yeah, I saw somebody tweet. And they said if they're saying that about them, that lets me know they're the exact person for the job. So yeah, it's crazy.
We don't
what's
want
going-
one of them running themselves. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the whole problem at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
she's the one who put on that, what was it, secret no-fly list?
Yeah.
What the heck is
Yeah.
that? How do you have a secret no-fly list?
Yeah, what's the point of a secret? Like the no-fly list should be made, but like everybody should know. Like, hey, these people shouldn't be getting on. Like, why would you keep that like a secret note? Like on top of the no-fly list, why would you make an additional one? It's like we put our enemies that we just don't like on this one because they technically
Is
don't
that
meet
really-
the
I mean,
criteria for
but
this
did
one.
it end up really being that secret? I mean, that's what I heard, but
Well, that's not a secret now.
well, no, it's not a secret.
we're,
No, but
we're talking about
and
it.
I don't know if it's even called the secret no-fly list. It had some name to it, and I'm like, our government's out of control.
Yeah, they had her on I don't think it was called that. They had her on a no-fly list that they didn't talk about, which made it secret.
Okay.
And now I guess that's been, I'm sure she ran into issues there, and then that was exposed. But
So yeah, Trump's going to Western Carolina, North Carolina. So hopefully
yeah,
we'll help get up there. Because I mean, and we can get into this because he's leaving there to go to California, and the stuff I've heard about out there is just, I mean, it's just asinine.
mhm.
But I heard this morning they're kicking people off of their land in Western Carolina who living in their own campers because they say it's not safe. The government. I mean, I don't understand this. The government needs to step back and just get a hold of itself. And I'm talking about local government. I mean, this is a local municipality. And I know the same thing happens here in Horry County. They get too full of themselves. And they think they're more powerful than what they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he's leaving there to go to California, and I guess he is meeting with the governor, Newsom.
Good.
He's also called for a roundtable discussion with lawmakers in California in a hangar. I mean, he's just all over the place. Since he got in last week, I mean, it's been
he's been nonstop.
It's like shock and awe. I mean, he is. I know. Wednesday on Wednesday's podcast we're going to talk about the executive orders, which they just haven't stopped.
I know he just keeps signing and
but
signing.
That's just the executive orders. I mean, everything else he's doing too, he just can't keep up with it.
Right.
But going to California, he's threatening to hold their money back if they don't fix the plan. I mean, without keep giving you money if you don't fix it. I think that's right. Just like New Orleans, I don't understand why we built New Orleans back the way we did. Because it's going to happen again.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be another Katrina.
Yeah.
That's the third or fourth
People
one on
couldn't even be living there.
But we keep putting all these money back into it.
Yeah.
But same thing like what's going on in Western North Carolina. I heard yesterday somebody say that it could literally take somebody 7 years to rebuild their house. They say the permitting process alone takes 400 some days.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, in the mountains, I can imagine there's a lot of stuff to go through to make sure those homes are built correctly.
This is in Los Angeles.
Oh, this is L.A. Oh, well, that makes sense. Everything's so backward. They're still counting votes for the election. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I'm not surprised at all there. Yeah, it's a joke.
Well, North Carolina, I think it's got some of the same issues. It's not 400 days for permitting process, but all the red tape you got to jump through. Mm-hmm. I mean, you cannot get an inspector out now in a timely fashion. You think about California, trying to rebuild all those homes, trying to get inspectors out.
Yeah, they probably got one inspector for the whole all of LA.
You're going to have months and months just waiting on one inspector before anybody else can do anything.
The DEI inspector at that.
Oh, that's gone.
It's gone now. It's gone now. Level. Yeah.
Oh, no, I've seen some things on that too. We've seen how, which department was it? Department thought it was pulling a fast one, and it had the DNI director on their web page, and the next day she was an executive consultant.
It's
just change the name, they won't notice.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to fly anymore.
Yeah, I got to get me a T-shirt made. They released the logo for Doge. It's like this little doll. It's like a funny cool little logo. And I like Elon posted something about it on because like they have their website up now. It hasn't like they got to do a lot of stuff to it, but like the logo's out, so I'm just gonna get me a Doge T-shirt made, a couple of them maybe.
Eisenhower Dental, located at 107 Waccamaw Medical Park Drive in Conway, a place where you can find all your dental services, including general dentistry, cosmetic, restorative, and pediatric dentistry. Reach out to them today at their website, eisenhowerdental.com, or call them at 843-234-3110, 843-234-3110, and tell them Wes the Economist sent you.
Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872. Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to send us your topics and give us feedback at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and X at dollarscentsgs. You can follow us on Facebook at Dollars and Cents. Listen to us on the podcast format at Dollars and Cents Podcast. And you can also find us on YouTube at the Dollars and Cents Podcast. This segment is sponsored by Bobby Clary State Farm. Call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right.
Doge T-shirt. Well, it's already lost half of their brain trust. You saw that. Vivek.
Oh, yeah. Tommy. Yeah. Because of something. I guess they finally came out and said it was something because some comments he made about Americans being lazy he said something.
Oh, really?
And I guess he got bad kickback on it. He said something about Americans being lazy or something. And I saw this on X. It was somebody reported it. Obviously, that's just a report. I don't know that he came out and confirmed that. That's why he had to step down from Doge. But for some reason, something was said. He did something, and they said, "Hey, you got to step down from that."
Who's Trump?
the report didn't say. It would just said that it's been confirmed that that comments he made at when he was doing some interview or at some conference that he said something about Americans being lazy was the reason he had to step down, but it didn't say who told him to step down or anything. I don't know if that's 100%. That's just what I saw.
But I mean, they've been saying he's going to run for governor. He didn't get the Senate appointment, so he's stepping out to run for governor. I guess maybe that's to cover.
Yeah,
story.
maybe. I don't know.
But that leaves Elon Musk, which it seems like me, Elon's getting bored already. Seems like he's kind of moved away some.
Yeah, I mean, Elon's he's all over the place trying to do a lot of things at once. I mean, he's still his main focus is still getting us on Mars. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. That's what he wants to do. I think he will put a lot of effort into the government efficiency thing, though. I think he's all in on that.
Well, I mean, I think he'll do like he did with Tesla and SpaceX. He'll recruit people and be there and be the kind of the head, but he'll let people do what they need to do. I mean, you think about it, Elon doesn't do a lot of hands-on stuff.
Yeah.
Everything that's being done at SpaceX, he's not 100% part of it. So same thing.
Yeah, I did see something. They were looking at the budget, and there was like a bunch of stupid stuff in the budget, and they've already directed, like there was like something that was being spent like $2 million a month or something on something silly that they've already redirected to North Carolina. It was some dumb thing in the budget that was being, I can't remember what it was, but anyway, he's already taken steps to review the budget and things that are not making sense.
Right.
I guess it also costs 3 cents to make a penny.
Yeah.
So they're trying to, I think they're probably going to, I would be fine just rounding up to a nickel and getting rid of pennies. I mean, I know it's probably going to upset some people because it's costing them potentially 4 cents more for something they did, but so it adds up. But at the end of the day, if it's costing 3 cents to make it, that's very inefficient.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they've cut all the copper out and they've kind of gone away from all of that. But
yeah.
Actually, if you look at the new debt clock, they've actually added a Doge meter in the debt clock.
Yeah.
But all Wi-Fi is not working. So.
Yeah, I know. I had to disconnect from it. Mine was giving me trouble on my phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to hook my phone now. But
I heard that on the Doge clock, the budget's going the other way now already. That I don't know if that's true, but it was like looking better. That's what somebody said.
It's definitely looking better. That's for sure. Now if I get this website up because I've been having trouble with it all weekend. Oh, that came right up time. Good. My poor phone now is running overtime. I got so many things running through it. But yeah, I mean we're at 14. Wow, it's jumped. $14 billion they've saved.
This is the Doge clock.
Yeah, this is supposedly.
Let's see, where is the money saved at?
Department of Government Efficiency Advisory Commission, the real-time savings objective from reducing government waste, fraud, and abuse in a federal government agency. So I don't know if they've actually saved this or found this or what, but it hasn't made a dent in the actual debt clock. As you can see, it's still going pretty good.
Yeah.
But the Doge. Supposedly they found almost $15 billion in waste so far.
Yeah. Crazy.
But one of the things we got to do, which I'm glad if they found that $2 million that's going towards Western North Carolina, because it could be doing that. But the thing of it is, just because they find waste and all, we got to make sure Congress doesn't just use that. Okay, yeah, we found $1 billion here. Now we can put it over here. That's not the point. The point is to try to start bringing the debt down.
Right.
And to do that, you got to first start with the deficit. And we're still, I know this depresses you when I pull this up, but here's what we brought in the last 12 months: $5 trillion in revenue from taxes, but we spent $7 trillion.
Right.
So that. I think we talked about this before. I went back into 1980s because everybody said all this started with Reagan. This is Reagan's fault. And you go back, he cut taxes. That's what they say. He cut taxes, and therefore we're in debt. But if you go back and literally look at the numbers, I know nobody wants to do that, but literally when he cut it, yes, tax revenue went down the first year a little bit. The next 3 or 4 years, it skyrocketed because the innovations kicked in and everything. But you look at the same time when the Democrats controlled the House of Representatives, the budget jumped more percentage-wise. So it wasn't that we were bringing in less money, we started spending more money, and it hasn't stopped since the 80s.
No, it's definitely been getting worse, that's for sure. That's apparent right here.
So, but I going back, like I said, he's heading to L.A. with the forest fires. There's another one started yesterday.
I heard that.
Yeah, so they're still not out of the woods. But again, I think
is that fun?
No, it wasn't meant to be, but I guess it was.
Okay. because that's what's burning.
Yeah, well, in houses, I mean,
Well, that's true too. But yeah, that's horrible. What's going? I mean, both. I mean, North Carolina got neglected. That was bad too. But yeah, it doesn't seem like they've really got a handle on the LA stuff. So they gotta. He needs to go to both. And
I don't think they're gonna get neglected. The problem is, it doesn't seem like anybody in California wants to change what they're doing. I mean, again, we talked about this in our podcast a few weeks ago. It's their fault what's going on. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, they
can
they
show you
did
the
this to
data.
themselves. Unfortunately,
They did it, and they don't want to undo it because they have to admit they were wrong.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, you got. I mean, that's a legitimate threat out there, and when you don't take measures to mitigate potential threat risks, this is what happens. And then, now you're uninsurable, and you got all and if you don't fix all this, like, there's no reason to even rebuild if you're not going to fix it, because it's just you're just wasting time and money. I mean, I know most of these people who lost homes, which doesn't make it okay, have plenty of money, so losing a $6-7 million home isn't much to them. They're like, oh, whatever, I'll just build another $7 million house. But at the same time, if you don't change what you're doing, why you think something's good? I mean, that's the definition of insanity, to keep doing the same thing and expect different results. So yeah, I hope I hope when he goes out there, he can talk some sense into Newsom and they make some changes and stop. I mean, I know they were trying to save some minnows or something, that was like part of the issue. They didn't have the water reserves or something.
They were the fish, but
yeah, which I get protecting the environment too. But but if you're going to do that, you better find some other ulterior options to fix the potential fire risk. I mean, that just is what it is. You got to do that and stop hiring DEI firemen. You can't do that either. That's a waste.
You saw that video
of time. Oh, it's a joke. It's a joke.
It really is.
If you're like you just hire people based on merit. If you want to encourage different races to go because you're low, like offer scholarships or stuff like that, okay, fine. But the whole just DEI, like, oh, we don't have enough Hispanic people in our fire department, so we're going to go hire these 4 Hispanic women that have no training and let them fight fires. It's like, no, I just want the best person. I don't care what color shows up to put my fire out.
I could care less about race.
It's silly.
I don't even what they want to call themselves as far as male or female. I have as long as you can do the job.
If you can do the job, I don't care if you. I don't care if you walked up and you're dressed like a dinosaur. If you can put my fire out better than the other guy, that's fine. I don't care. I really don't care. And I think what's crazy about the DEI stuff to me, and I know we're going off topic, but that's what we do.
Well, I have a topic for this one.
That's true. We're all over the place. So what's crazy about the DEI stuff to me is I don't believe in this day and age that, like, whether it's the NFL or any person who's hiring for a job, you can't tell me that they're not looking for the best candidate regardless, and that they're just like, oh, this guy's black, I'm not going to hire him, even though he's well qualified more than any of the other people that applied. I just don't believe in this day. Now, you might have some, like, a handful of people here and there that might be like that, but across the board, I'd say it's like less than 1% of the country, as far as employers are actually like hiring and trying to navigate around certain races I just don't believe that's a thing. Yeah. I just don't. So the DEI thing's silly to me. It's like, okay, we don't have enough black pilots. Okay, we'll offer scholarships or some kind of for more black people to want to be pilots. Maybe they just don't have a desire to be pilots. It doesn't mean you need to just like force people in that are not qualified just to make it look good on paper. That, like, nobody wants an untrained pilot just because of their skin color to be flying them anywhere. No matter what race it is, like like the NFL, for example, is like predominantly black. Most of the players. If
so
I don't think white people, like, if you're not better than black people at football, you shouldn't be in the damn NFL. Like, that's it. If you're not good at catching footballs and you're a small white dude, you shouldn't be in the NFL, dude.
I mean, I saw it this is on the internet. So it's got to be true, right? I saw it the other day that says, you can't be racist against white people. I mean, there's no discrimination against white people ever.
That goes against the whole definition of racism.
I know the mentality is just, again, it goes back to the dumbing down of our education system.
Yeah,
it really scares me.
Yeah, that's why we're so behind. I think economically, and why China. I mean, they're not messing around with education, doing all this silly stuff. I'm sure China's got plenty of problems. But
this will go against everything everybody believes, and there's only a few people out there that understand this. But if you go back and look, one of the reasons we don't have more diversity now is because of the government and what they did to the African American community in the 1960s with welfare.
Lyndon Johnson,
who was one of the best racist presidents we ever had. You can't say that out loud again because, oh, he's a Democrat. No, he was racist.
Yeah.
He hated anybody who wasn't white. And just to understand what happened with that whole affirmative action, which one of the executive orders did away with that, there's a whole lawsuit for that.
Yeah.
But the idea that looking at people's merit and pushing people to be better at what they do, it doesn't matter what your skin color is. You can do that.
Yeah.
And one to me, and some of the most racist things I've seen is like, well, we can't have voter ID laws because African Americans don't know how to get ID. Excuse me?
So yeah, it's just like
I mean-
it's the yeah, and it's crazy. It's like Democratic white people like speaking on behalf, like that's more racist than anything. Like why don't you just let these people speak for themselves? But like everybody starts buying into it, and then it's just like a brainwash thing. And it's just
Then you have
people don't see it though.
Then you have during the riots, a white woman yelling at a black cop telling him he's racist.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's we're in a weird time, but I mean, some things are being done. You know, I mean, I think this administration, they have a lot of work to do, and they've got a lot of people to prove that they're good.
And
But I mean, so far
they've got
they're
a lot of lawsuits already.
yeah, you knew that was going to happen. They're going to try to stop everything.
The one thing about it is so much going on at one time, kind of like what the Democrats have done to us the last 14 years, 16 years, is there's so much happening they can't keep up.
Right. I know.
They literally just don't know which way.
I know. I just love that there's just like there's like all right, Mr. President, this executive order for this. He's like, oh, that's a big one, and just signs it and hands it, and then there's like, all right, Mr. President, this. What was cool, what I thought was really cool, when he signed the one about releasing the JFK files and the RFK and the MLK files, which I think is great because MLK was a coup too. They took him out. So people should be happy about that too. And the RFK, I think the government had a hand in killing RFK as well. After he signed it, he was like, he saved the pen. He said, give this to RFK Jr. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. But that's not the most important one. That's just something that I followed since I was a child trying to figure out who did it.
Some people, it's really important. I mean, they've been waiting for years for this.
Yeah, just it's something that should be, it's been long enough that if there's anybody, they said that there's still a couple people alive from that time, like that were in their 20s, that were, I think, like part of something in Mexico. I was listening to somebody talking about it, like some kind of, they were working for the CIA out of Mexico because Lee Harvey Oswald, I guess, visited Mexico, and he had visited Moscow and then Mexico right before he did and the CIA was watching him and knew that he was, basically planning something. So anyway, those documents should say that. So I'm interested to see what's in that. Obviously, it's not the most important of what he signed. I think the border security is probably the most important of what he signed at this point because we've got so many terrorists in the country that have come in through that border, and it's not Hispanic people coming in that I'm talking about. It the other people that have come in through the border because it's been so unchecked.
Middle Easterns, the Asians.
It's bad. So. That's why we're going to see more terrorist attacks this year. And I guarantee you, I'm going to put it on record right now, I don't wish terrorist attacks on the U.S. I hope I'm wrong, but multiple people in intelligence have been on podcasts talking about that there's multiple planned terrorist attacks in the United States this year. I just lost my train of thought, what I was going to say.
Well, my question about that is, have they already started? We don't get the news. I mean, I hear these little things out of local news stations around the country, and I think, that sounds suspicious.
Yeah. Well, obviously January 1 was terrorist attack, the one, not the Cybertruck bombing, the other one.
Yeah.
But there's I mean, you've got multiple people in intelligence, like Sarah Adams. She was a CIA targeter, and she still does, like in the private sector. She still like fights terrorism. I didn't know you could do that in the private sector. I guess they contract her out for targeting terrorists, because that's what she's good at. So that's cool. But she's very interesting, and she's been on podcasts. She said, listen, there's a lot of people that are getting into this country, and they're sleeper cells, and they're planning a bigger attack. That little January 1st one was nothing. I know what I was going to say. I guarantee you when the big terrorist attack happens, I'm hoping there isn't one, but if there is, they're going to blame Trump. They're going to say, oh, look at him during his presidency. There's going to be, and then it's going to be because all the stuff that happened during the last presidency, people coming in through the border, all the stuff they're planning now. But now they just got to try to combat it and hope they can fight it before they find.
I mean, they're losing the battle. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the media numbers again. CNN's laying off all kind of
140 people or something.
Yeah, and they took Jim Acosta and put him at 2 a.m. in the morning. It's like they always moved in midnight and then pushed it to 2 a.m. It's kind of like he said something about he's going to. But this happened before he moved, I think. But he was like, they were talking about he's going to leave. Negotiations don't go his way. I'm like, aren't they trying to get him to leave? They put him at midnight. I mean, and they kind of
he's going to keep collecting that paycheck until they give him the boot.
Well, at 2 a.m., they'll probably let him say anything he wants to.
Probably. Yeah. I'd take a 2 a.m. slot and go off the rails at 2 a.m. with a cup of coffee in front of me. Yeah, give me a 2 a.m. CNN slot. I'll be fired within 2 days, but I might make it. I don't think I'd make it 2 days. They're like, good Lord, he's already saying the CIA killed Kennedy. Get him off of here. That's why they get. That's why
the only clips I see off CNN at this point is the ones for Jennings. Jennings has just been cleaning people's clocks. Common sense.
Yeah.
And it's almost, and these politicians, I see something different in politicians, which I think only can be attributed to Trump. and that is now they're willing to take on a reporter and
Yeah.
say that question's stupid.
Right.
Why would you even ask that?
Yeah.
Your premise is wrong. I mean, they literally it used to be that they just, oh well, and they would he and haw and try.
Mm.
And there's more and more politicians that have been elected, and some that have been there that now have the backbone
Right.
just to stand up and say, forget it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
People like Taylor, what's her name, MTG,
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Taylor
Yeah.
Greene coming in, and she just tells them off every day in the lobby as they walk with.
Yeah.
her. I don't know why they
As she
talk to her
should.
anymore.
I know. I'm surprised they do. Just to get a rise out of her, just
Yeah.
to get.
Try to get her to say
Get
something,
clips,
but
yeah.
she doesn't care.
Yeah, she doesn't care. I love that. Yeah, but it's.
Anything
yeah.
else? Any other news we hadn't hit lately?
I mean, other than going over his executive orders, which we're going to do Wednesday, I'm trying to think if there's anything else in the news that's big that we need to talk
The
about.
drones have dropped out of nobody's talking about it anymore, but they're supposed to release that here soon.
He signed something. Yeah, he was signing something about the drones, and he literally there was like a woman to his right, and he said, "Can we actually go ahead and start getting the information on that now, so we can just he's like, let's go ahead and work on that now." So
That was like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Yeah.
Come on, let's see. I want to know.
Yeah, I know it's I know these things take time, and I'm sure they have to go through and figure out because I'm sure there's some stuff that's kind of sensitive that they're like, hey, we can't tell them that we're fighting
Can't
these with
just
it.
Tell us where it came from. I mean,
They're from China. They're Chinese drones.
the last one I heard was interdimensional beings.
Oh Lord, they're Chinese drones. Now the propulsion system they're using apparently is some like otherworldly type things, but apparently we have that same capability. Like
Oh.
this, it's the same propulsion type stuff that I guess they've always said UFOs have had, but
Yeah.
they're not UFOs. They're only unidentified because we don't know what they are
Yeah.
as civilian.
It's UFO.
Yeah.
Understands
So,
for that.
so as much as I want to say the aliens are out here, I think it's just technology that, because we find out about technology 20 or 30 years after the government does, like when
Yeah.
high end stuff like that they're using for defense. So, in 10 years we'll know about some technology that they had that is going to be crazy to us. They're like, oh, that explains those drones
Yep.
back then.
There you
So
go.
yeah, so it is what it is.
So yeah, they've dropped out. Hadn't heard much about the well, I did hear something about Greenland yesterday, and literally, I guess the Danish PM said, "F you, Trump."
Sounds about right.
We're not selling it. Panama, though, I did read an article
They're a
before
little
it came
upset.
in. Well, but the Bank of China's big ad that you see walking out of the airport has been taken down.
Oh,
So again, he may not take it back over, but he's making Panama stand up and listen.
yeah,
And I think that's his whole goal.
yeah.
Same thing with the tariffs. It scares me with the tariffs. You see the numbers right here. We bring in $2.5 trillion in tax revenue,
Yeah,
and he's talking about doing away with federal income. That's the federal income tax,
right.
and he's talking about doing away with that and replacing it with tariffs. We don't. It can't be done. I mean, there's just no way. We don't.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to.
Because right now for excise taxes, we're getting 103. What's that? 103 billion. There's
Mhm.
no way you're gonna make up 2.5 trillion. Okay, the tariffs right now are at 73.5 billion. So you're not gonna make up 2.5 trillion with tariffs
Yeah.
without basically getting rid of all the imported stuff to the country.
You want to get rid of state revenue tax across the board? That'd be cool. Oh no, that's state revenue. That's not tax, is it?
No, well, it's this their taxes.
Their
and
tax
anything else
revenue,
they're
the
paying.
federal tax, the on like spending, right? Just like
No,
goods.
the total state revenue that should be. Let's see. There's my thing. State revenue is generated with a sales tax, license fees, and more taxes. Yes,
Okay.
that's like all 50 states what they bring in tax revenue.
What are the? I want to know what the charitable donations are. What is that? The Clinton Foundation? What are they donating to over here on the far right?
I don't know. A gift made by individual organization to a nonprofit. So that's just how much we as individuals are giving.
Oh,
charities
okay.
each
So
year.
it's not. Okay. Got
So,
it.
and that would include churches, I would think.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Never mind.
So
Huh. Interesting. Well, I mean, listen, I'm glad that as long as they run it correctly, I'm glad that the Department of because I mean, obviously, you can't run a government like this for too long. I don't know how we're
No.
doing it at all.
well, we're having ramifications. The inflation rate was one,
Yeah.
but there's more underneath that's crumbling. If we don't do
Yeah.
something about it, we're in trouble.
Yeah, so hopefully Elon can keep rolling. I mean, the guy's good with numbers. Obviously, he knows what he's doing. So I'm sure he can get a handle on this and at least maybe get it slowing down or going the right way, so we can
Well,
get to a point
yeah.
of getting.
I don't think Elon himself could do it.
No. He's
But
got
I
a good team,
definitely
for sure.
think once he puts a team together to put the numbers together in a way that he can look at them,
Yep.
he can definitely look into them.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
Come on, you and I could do that. We
Yeah,
put a team
oh,
together.
yeah,
We could.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's basic math. I mean, you're not just adding and
yeah,
subtracting
it's
here.
not like we're using calculus. Or,
Yeah,
But here, this one keeps ticking up. I mean, this has gone up in the last probably 8 months. This has gone from 800 billion to over $1 trillion. So 200 billion more dollars in interest we paid. And they're talking
can't pay
about
off debt with that type of interest.
they're talking about it going higher. And again, I think I showed this to you, but we paid $1 trillion in debt interest payments last year and brought in $5 trillion. That's 20% of our income as the federal government is going to pay off interest.
Yeah, you can't pay your debt back when 20% of your income goes straight just to the interest only payment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of other news, but nothing else is coming to mind. How about you?
Nothing else is jumping out to me. Every time you pull up this debt clock, it just puts me between the snowy cold weather and and now the depressing news of us still being in debt as a country. I think we hit on everything.
You've got the debt, cold weather, AI, drones. What else is to be stressed about?
The threat of constant terrorist attacks now that we have thousands of them in the country.
Yeah. So
Listen, I was a little nervous when I was in New York. I was like, man, anything could happen. I was at the top of Rockefeller Center. I was like, it's my luck one of these drones is going to come up here, drop a nuke on me. I made it out alive.
If it was a nuke, you wouldn't have to worry about
I
it.
wouldn't know. I would never know. I'd never know.
You bet.
Yeah, it would just go black, and then I'd be like, oh boy, I'm about to be judged. I think the nuke hit, and then they'd have the scroll of everything I've done wrong, just unravel it across the floor.
There's a way around that. We'll have to talk about it one day on the podcast. Oh, which kind of reminds me, I kept talking about doing a separate podcast for the faith stuff because we had so many questions. I started one.
Nice.
I got 3 episodes
Faith
ready.
plus one. What do you call it?
Actually, it's called Simply Student Scripture Study. So
Okay.
S4.
Okay.
S the 4th. But yeah, I'll give it to you. Let you see what you like. And if you like it, I'll release it and see what I think. I've got a channel up for it. I don't know if we want to put a link on Dollars and Cents or if we wanted to keep them separate. We'll talk about it off air.
Okay.
But it's just going to be basic Bible stuff. So the first 3 episodes are just literally walking through the Bible and understanding how it fits together.
Oh, cool.
But the role there, we can talk about that. You don't have to go through that if you don't want to.
Got it. Okay.
So, if the nuclear bomb drops is a better way.
Okay. Got it.
All right. Well, let's get on to our next podcast. So we'll see you.
Well, we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Life gets unpredictable. Turn to a partner you can trust. At Bobby Clary State Farm, we've got you covered. Whether it's home, auto, or life insurance, we're dedicated to providing personalized coverage that fits your needs. With our friendly and knowledgeable team, navigating your insurance options have never been easier. Visit BobbyClary.com or call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right.
Want to know more about economics? Then look for my podcast, Econ Sense, in Apple and Spotify, or reach out to me at west.the.economist@gmail.com. It's west.the.economist@gmail.com.
Are you looking to buy a property in North or South Carolina and need financing assistance? Give Motto Mortgage Coastal Pros a call today. We specialize in residential loans in both North and South Carolina and can meet all your residential home loan needs. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872. Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at DollarsCentsGS and on Facebook at Dollars and Cents.